Shalom. Before I begin this video, first and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that continue to rule very well to this very day, that is feeding the flock through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. And also Shalom to the Hope elect that is also laboring this work. It's giving you due diligence to make your calling and election sure, and faith and truth and sincerity and in all charity. Now, topic of this video, I think I'm going to entitle it as an example of a novice lifted up with pride. And again, of course, true to form, like if the spirit has to where I title this video differently, then of course I'm going to change the title. But you know, this is concerning, you know, a recent encounter that we had at the camp last Saturday, you know, and spirit, you know, just jumped on me to go ahead and do a video on it because, you know, I've been meaning to do a video on this concerning guys like this, you know, and he's not the, you know, the person that came up to the camp, you know, you can't really see him on camera because it's pointed towards us, but, you know, about halfway through the video, you'll see a Jake, you know, of course he's a two-third reprobate that came up, you know, cursing us out because we told him not to film us, you know, and of course he got emotional and you know, started cursing us out because we asked him politely, you know, not to film us, but you know, he got in his feelings about it and cursed us out, man. And that's when the spirit jumped on us to put a curse on him, man. And yeah, there's a bystander that was there who has a little bit of the knowledge, you know, he knows a little bit about it, but you know, he's still young in the spirit, as you know, as we saw when we was at the camp. And you know, he got offended, you know, he got offended, and he also got in his feelings about, you know, us putting the curse on him, man. And we try to explain to him that you know, 2/3 of our people are not gonna make it on this side. That's the reason why we put a curse on that guy, because we understand that, you know, it's certain occurrences and certain things that happen through the spirit and, you know, he can understand it, you know, because the guy came up, you know, that was his judgment. You know, he came up for that sole purpose of having a curse put on him, man. Just the same way that this guy that got offended, you know, this person that came up to the camp got offended because we cursed him out, you know, and that goes to show you, man, that, you know, Jake does not have a healthy fear of the Lord. All right, because they don't understand what they're getting themselves involved in, man. If they really knew the gravity of what's going on here amongst the camps, then, you know, they wouldn't do what they do. But the Lord hasn't opened their eyes to see that, you know. The Lord hasn't revealed it unto certain of our people to understand what's going on. All right. But again, you know, this guy came up, you know, and he witnessed what happened. He got offended. All right. Because guess what? If I'll tell you this, if Yahushua was here today and he was to do the same thing that he did back in the ancient world, guess what? Our people will still get offended. They'll get offended at what he did. All right. Why? Because he cursed out certain of the wicked scribes and Pharisees, man. He was cursing people out. It was at a point in time to where he cursed out his disciples. All right. And see, guys like that come up to the camps or watch the videos, they get offended at either what we say or what we do. They're not operating in the spirit. All right. Because again, if they were watching the videos and Yahushua was at one of the camps, right? Let's just use that for an example. And they would have seen him do the same exact thing. All right. And that's why back in the ancient world, Yahushua was the people that were listening in and witnessing what he was doing, they got offended. And the same thing is happening today, man, because we operate in the spirit of Yahushua. If you operate in the spirit of Yahushua, then guess what? People are going to get offended at what you're doing. Case in point, doing the work. All right. And of course, and I witnessed, me personally, I know the brothers peeped it out as well, that you got guys that come into this thing and they still got that mama's boy spirit on them, man. They got that effeminate spirit on them, to where if something happens, they buckle. All right, that soft spirit. The Lord's not dealing with guys like that, man. All right, guys with a soft spirit, man. And that's the scriptures tell you about that. The ones who are effeminate, they're not gonna enter into the kingdom of the Most High, man. So you got to put that off. You got to put off that effeminate, soft spirit, man, because Yahushua wasn't a soft guy. All right, he was rough. All right, he was known as an austere man. Okay, the scriptures tell you that he was an austere man. All right. But I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the precepts that I got here, man, that I want to expound upon. First, I want to grab 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. All right. Now, again, this occurrence that happened here at the camp is a perfect example of not examining yourself. If you don't examine yourself, then guess what? It's going to lead you to believe that you know everything. All right. That's the pitfall of not examining yourself. If you don't examine yourself, you think that you got it all figured out. All right. You think that you'll have everything that you can get as far as this knowledge and this truth, and then you'll stop growing. All right. That's no good. All right. Because if you stop growing, then that means that you have, basically you're saying that you got it all figured out, man. All right. Because I can tell you right now, with the apostles and elders, even to this very day, even the amount of things that they know, they still to this very day say that they don't know everything. All right, and they're still learning, and that's one of the greatest examples to show you that, look, we don't know everything there is to know, but we're still learning, man. All right. 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5, it says, "Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith." All right, so examine yourself whether you be in the faith, whether you be in the truth, and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, man. All right. If you're examining yourself, and really, man, you really have to examine yourself every single day. All right. Basically saying that, look, what things can I do to further this ministry, to further the truth, for the benefit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Those are the kinds of thoughts that the men of the Lord have. Okay? So examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves how that Yahushua and Mashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates. Right. And that guy was a straight up reprobate, man. Whenever we go into the topic of cursing out our own people, he couldn't take it. All right? Why? And we brought out examples, right? Jeremiah, Nehemiah, even Yahushua. Those are examples to show you that, look, when the spirit is on you to curse out your own people, that's what's going to happen, man. You can't fight against that. All right. Now we'll move on from there. I'm going to get the book of 1 Corinthians, the 3rd chapter. This is at the 18th verse. It says, "Let no man deceive you, or let no man deceive himself." Slakia. So let no man deceive himself. So don't deceive yourself, all right? "If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, right, let him become a fool." And that is something that Jake cannot do to this very day. They can't humble themselves down and say that they don't know everything, or they don't have it all figured out. They can't humble themselves to the point of being a babe. And the thing about babes is this: If you humble yourself down to being a babe, the thing about babes is that they don't say a word. They can't say anything because they're babes. All right? And that's something that Jake can't do. They can't humble down, all right, and listen. They always got to put their 2 cents in and you know, put out what they know. Instead of just, I'm just saying like it is, instead of shutting the hell up and just listen. All right? So it says, let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool. So let him become a fool, man. All right? That he may be wise. And that's the first step. Okay? Now I'll move on from there. I'm going to get 1 Corinthians, the 8th chapter. And this is at the first verse. It says, now as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifieth. See? So knowledge puffeth up, man. And that's true. Knowledge does puff up, man. All right, we've seen it time and time again. We got guys that think they know everything, and then it comes to find out that they don't. Okay? So knowledge puffeth up. That's why a novice is fall into that trap of being lifted up with pride, man. Okay? But here it is, it says, but charity edifieth. Right? And this is a charitable work. All right, this is for the elect. For the ones that are sincere, this is for you, man. All right? But you have to humble down and listen. All right? You know, to the new guys coming in, man. Now, verse 2. It says, and if any man think that he knoweth anything, he knoweth nothing, yet as he ought to know. See? So if any man think that he knows something, right, he really doesn't know anything, yet as he ought to know. So the things that you don't know, that you need to know, or that you should know, guess what? You gotta listen, man. So if you know anything, let him think again, man. And I think it's another scripture that says that. Let's see. I think, I don't think there's a scripture on that. I might be roughly paraphrasing. But this may be it. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 7 says, Do you look on things after the outward appearance? If any man trusts to himself that he is Yahushua and right, and that's exactly what he was thinking. So if you think that you belong to Yahushua, right, you think that you're his disciple, because we're all his disciples right now at this time as we're doing this work. So if you think you're his disciple, it says, let him of himself think this again, that as he is Yahushua's, even so are we Yahushua's, right? And again, the guy was offended, man. All right, you know, basically he was bucking up against what we did, not knowing that what he's doing is much worse. All right, because again, what we did was through the Spirit, man. And the men of old, the prophets, they cursed out certain men out of Israel. All right, for wickedness. So how much more us? Okay. But I'm gonna go ahead and end off on that note. Lord's word was edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel. Till next time, once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well to this very day. And shalom and peace and safety and salutations to the whole elect that is laboring this work as well. Give your diligence to make your calling and election sure. in faith, in truth and sincerity, and in all charity. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.